Hello, everybody. Welcome to the first ever 5 stars of video hangout series, whatever thing. I don't know exactly what we're calling it yet. We may have to call this one episode 0 as the starter episode, but this is a show that the 5 of us decided to start doing once a week, every Monday at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Let's not stand on ceremony, shall we? Let's go ahead and start introducing ourselves. We'll start with me since the camera's pointing at me. My name is Zane Miller. I'm a YouTube and video marketing expert. I've been obsessed with YouTube since 2008. Was in the right place at the right time in 2012. Oh, wait. Got to turn off that speaker because the audio is coming through and you don't want to hear. Anyway, so I was in the right place at the right time in 2012 when Hangouts first came out on the scene, and I started profiting with them before many marketers, and now the wave of interest keeps growing, and it's really exciting to be a part of a group like this with fellow experts, and I look forward to learning as much as all of you watching. So. Let's go ahead and move to the next person that I see here, which is Justin Sardi. Justin, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself?
All right. Audio working good? Probably. All right, cool.
Yeah.
Well, like Zane said, I am Justin Sardi. I've been doing internet marketing for about 2 years now, and it's been pretty sweet, not having to have a job, all that good stuff. Basically, I pretty much focus on paid traffic mostly. I do a lot of YouTube ads, AdWords for video stuff, affiliate marketing, product creation, and consulting for local businesses. So.
Very cool. Great to have you here. Next up, we have David. Help me with your last name.
Schloss.
Okay, I just want to make sure I pronounced it right. David Schloss.
It's all good. All right, everyone. My name is David Schloss. I am a paid traffic professional. I've been doing paid traffic for clients for more than, I would say, about 16 months now. Started in internet marketing around 2007. Didn't take it serious until 2010. That's when I decided to open my own agency and just help out local businesses in my area at the time. And I realized that I was prepared for a lot more, so I started working with personal brands and a lot bigger franchises and national brands. And essentially what I do is I help them with their funnels and their paid traffic. And what does it have to do with video? Well, if it wasn't for video marketing, I would have never discovered paid traffic, and that's a lot longer story that I'll get into later. But that's
Very
what I
cool.
do.
Very cool. Yeah. Out of all the people here, I've known David the least amount of time, and I ask myself all the time, like, why haven't I met this guy sooner? Really, really cool. I know I'm going to learn a lot from David, which is another reason why I'm glad I'm here. So next we have Bill Walsh. Bill, why don't you say hi and introduce yourself?
Hey guys, Bill Walsh here. I'm a local video guy too. My main business is local video and SEO, and lots of fun. And now I'm starting to get into the paid traffic side of it. You got the paid expert in here. I'm kind of the secondary paid expert now because I'm starting to really branch out and actually use it because we're noticing that's where the trend is going. And speaking of Mr. Lem Moore, everybody.
Hooray! Lem will be with us in just a moment.
Maybe a couple more minutes, actually.
Yes.
Yeah. But I think here's what I'd like to do to really bring in the star of the show, because we're all here because Lem's here, and he's so awesome. So let's give Lem a round of applause. Thank you, Lem, for being here. You got in just as we finished the other introductions. So Lem, let's not stand on ceremony. How are you? Why don't you introduce yourself and tell us a bit about you?
Hey guys, I guess y'all know who I am. No, you don't. I'm Lem Moore. Hey, what's up? Straight out of Dallas, Texas, marketer here, local. Also online marketer, doing great things, having fun, trying to learn and I guess get with the big guys as you see here on the panel. And I'm not sure what they told you before, but don't believe them. Or maybe you should. I don't know. Just That's what happens when you have computer issues and changes in dates and schedules. So I'm here. I mean, hey, I'm excited. I'm glad you're here. That's me.
Fantastic. Awesome, Lem. Appreciate you being here. So yeah, you've now met the whole group of us, the 5 stars of video marketing. We've got experience upon experience, and basically we all got together. We were all at Vid Summit, and we started chatting more and more, and decided that we should probably have some kind of hangout show that talks about video marketing, paid video marketing, but then also how paid ads kind of work together, because that's more and more of what we're seeing as an important factor in anybody's business. And there's a lot of opportunities because most people, most businesses and most marketers are intimidated actually by paid advertising when they really shouldn't be. So it's our hope in these shows that we can show you examples of what we've been doing, what other people are doing, how they're successful, to help inspire you to take that leap and jump in and do that paid advertising, because just like us, you'll experience the same thing and go, why haven't I been doing this sooner? So with that said, we're going to treat it a little bit like a round-robin discussion here and throw some topics around. We want to encourage all of you who are watching live, or even if you're watching this as a replay later, go ahead and put your comments and questions in, because we do monitor the questions and comments during the live broadcast and after. So don't be shy. Reach out through these through the comment system and let us know your thoughts and comments. And of course, if you have any suggestions for future episodes, we would love to hear them. Of course, since this is a YouTube channel, we want to encourage everybody to click the subscribe button so that you're updated on not just the Hangout shows that we do, but other videos that if any of us are inspired to create anything and say, hey, this is a really cool tip we want to show you, we want to be able to get that to you as soon as possible. So make sure and subscribe. If you think that there are other people who would really enjoy this show as well, share with your friends and family on social media. All the links and stuff like that to do that is down below. And then, of course, if you're watching live, look to my right and you'll be able to see the comments. And then if you're watching this as a replay, the comment system is down below. So let's go ahead and jump into a little bit of a discussion about paid ads. We all have experience, so why don't we start with one question, and we'll get it very polarized. Let's hear from everybody the very best video ad experience or paid traffic experience, and then we'll go through everybody, and then we'll do the very worst, so you can see the full dichotomy. We don't want to just show all the good things about paid traffic. We want to show the reality and what it is. So okay, I was going to start with Bill, and then he disappeared. So forget you, Bill. So why don't we go ahead and start with David. So David, why don't you go ahead and unmute yourself and tell us about your best either paid video traffic or paid traffic experience in general.
I'll go with just paid traffic in general. So typically I run a lot of Facebook ads in combination with other forms of content ads, you know, Twitter, YouTube, you name it. And one of my best examples is that I've had a client for roughly 6 months now, and we were tweaking his traffic funnel for the entirety of that time. We just couldn't seem to find something that was working for him. It was breaking even every single time we ran traffic. But then, you know, you find that one little tweak to an opt-in page or a sales page, and all of a sudden, sales just starts coming in. So we made this one tweak to where we were simply just going to go with straight-up coaching. We couldn't sell any digital product to his people. We couldn't even sell it to his own list. We just went completely cold and started generating all this traffic to a 3-page funnel: an opt-in page, a sales page, and then an application page. And in doing so, we spent no more than $1,000 in a period of about 30 days, and he received 48 people interested in his one-on-one coaching. Now, just for frame of reference, he was selling a $4,000 a month coaching program. Okay, that's not exactly cheap, nor is it within most people's range of being able to afford a program like that. But what happened is, after that 30-day period, he went into this closing mode, called every person who applied, and within a 2-week time period, he closed more than $40,000 in recurring business from paid ads. And he still pays me to run this funnel, even though he doesn't need the money anymore. He only needed 10 people, and he's making 40 grand a month. And that's all he can handle. Yeah, it's a lot of bank.
A month. Gee.
Exactly. Exactly. So that is a great example of paid ads, and quite honestly, that could be for anyone. He could have made it $1,000 a month, and could have had 20 to 30 people sign up and make 20 to 30 grand a month. But that just shows you that even though it took 6 months to get this finely tuned, it only takes one little thing, and the traffic will work on its own. It just starts to blossom, and you just keep wanting to run it all the time.
No, I like what you said there. It's one of those things that even if you have to spend like 6 months, I mean, when you take a look at the bigger picture, right? 6 months isn't really that long if you're talking about $40,000 a month, and on top of it, he's at capacity. And I mean, personally, like if I was making 40 grand a month consistently, this would be a different conversation, right? So, thanks for that, David. So next, let's hear from you, Bill, Mr. Wanderer. He's wandering around with his laptop there. Why don't you chime in and let us know your best either video ad traffic, paid traffic, or general paid traffic, best experience.
Well, that's, what, David and Justin are probably going to be better than mine because I'm still in the learning curve. So.
Okay. Well, I mean, has there anything that's happened to you that jumps out more than anything?
Not really yet. It's just, I'm still in the learning curve, so I'm still learning. I haven't really. Mine isn't as adventurous or cool as David's. That was kind of the. I feel like a sucker now because I heard David did David last. You know what I mean? Now everything else is going to be like a second round.
Good point. All right. So then Lem, I know you've been digging into this more. Do you have any experiences that you want to share? Some positive experiences?
Like David said, he hit it on the nail. If you make a certain tweak, it changes everything. And I've been running regular paid traffic for an insurance client. Collecting cookies and sending them to different places, and it's remarkable how fast paid traffic can get results. But in the beginning, it's really hard to get started if you don't know what your main targets are. So I think for those who are starting out, this channel will be a perfect resource on how to get started, because if you look up on like video ads and paid traffic, where to get started, and there's some missing pieces that I've noticed. And even you and I have talked about this. That I was like, hey, have you heard of that one course? And you were like, yeah, there's some missing pieces. And I actually went to that course, and you are correct. There's a lot of missing pieces through that course, Zane. Yeah. So I totally agree. And can we cuss on here?
Bring it on. No, this should be like a straight legit. Like this is who we are.
Okay, good. So I was testing punchlines and starter phrases, and one I tried was, "You want to make the internet your bitch?" That didn't pass through Google, so I was kind of upset about that. It didn't work. They rejected it. So getting different ways to, and that was for video ads, of course, a pre-roll. But just trying to find different unique ways to grab that attention, I think right there is going to be the toughest for those who don't understand how to have that page interrupt. So that is something that I'm glad that everyone will probably learn from us on this channel. I guess that's about all for me. Did I answer everything? Yeah.
Yeah. No.
All right. Good.
Well,
Okay.
well said. Awesome. So last but not least, we have Justin Sardi. Justin, based on your experience, what would you see as the best experience that you've had with either video paid ad traffic or just general paid traffic?
Well, I actually got a pretty good one, and I bet you know what I'm going to talk about, Zane.
Yeah.
So, in the past, I've ran a lot of campaigns, mostly for clients. And I was setting up, video campaigns. They were successful for them, and I got paid, which was great. But it wasn't, I didn't make huge paydays. We got a client, set their campaign up, all that good stuff, which was great. But recently, we started running these ads for some affiliate promotions, and Zane and I were actually just promoting Amazing Sewing Machine is what it was called, and it's a $4,000 course, so the affiliate commission on that is pretty big. And basically, we were able to take a product we knew converted, and I think that was a huge part of it. It already converted in the beginning. We knew it would sell, and the commission made it very worthwhile. But long story short, we were able to use video ads, YouTube videos in general, to sell 41 copies, I believe, is what our total was recently, and generate something like almost $65,000 in affiliate commissions in a week.
That's awesome.
That was pretty cool. That was definitely probably the highlight of my paid traffic up to this point. It was awesome.
It was pretty cool. I would say it kind of felt like. All right, yeah, I know I'm the shock jockey here. I get it. No, but that was one of those experiences that I like. You always set like these large goals, and then when you start seeing them, you're like, wow, I actually hit it. Woo! Right.
We had to keep adjusting our goal. Like, well, maybe we just raise it, I guess.
Yeah. But that's the thing. It was all thanks to paid traffic. Paid traffic is what got us there. And looking back at the last few times that I had done the promotion, in fact, I had specifically asked Justin because I knew he had experience with paid video traffic, and I had dealt with it a little bit in the past, but since AdWords changed their system over the last couple of years, it became very foreign to me. So it was frustrating because I experienced the ad platform in the early years, and it was great. I mean, it was like you could get super targeted traffic, and you still can. It's just that the system has been sort of morphed into the AdWords structure, and it's pretty easy to use, but it was just way easier a couple of years ago. So we pulled Justin in, and basically we tripled our sales from the first time I did the promotion to now this iteration, thanks to paid traffic and Justin. Got to give credit where credit is due. We were able to literally triple our sales, which is phenomenal. So that's also one of my best experiences. I can tell you that when I first started with paid traffic, it was one of those things that I thought was really interesting that Google and YouTube don't really talk about. Ads on YouTube, you'll see that your YouTube videos will go up in rank organically. I mean, they don't come out and say it, but it happens. So with that said, before we go into any of the negative experiences we've had with paid traffic, we do have some questions and comments from the Google Plus event page. So thank you to all of you who are watching on the Google Plus event page. Of course, if you're watching on the YouTube watch page, you can also comment and ask questions there as well. I am monitoring all of them, so if you have any questions, feel free to fire them in. So we've got here from Julie. She asks, can you state if the client is B2C or B2B, or is it a firm or I think most of us, David, was your client a business to business or business to customer?
Business to consumer.
Okay, all right. And then of course, Justin and myself, it was an affiliate promotion. That was for us. It wasn't our product, but we were promoting someone else's product. So let us know if that answered your question. So we've also got Lynn Jordan. Lynn's here. Hello. Everyone said, both Lynn and Julia says that they think that Lem's the star of the show. So you're the big guy. You're the you're the man, Lem. It's all you. All right, cool. So of course, feel free to ask your questions.
And you girls are awesome wherever you are in the world. God bless you today.
Awesome.
All right, so as more questions come in, let's go back around. David, you've had a little bit more experience. Do you have a bad experience that you ran into? And maybe in addition to that, like the experience that you had, and maybe what you would recommend in the future for anybody else who feels like they might be in that similar situation.
Yeah, I mean, I have a couple of bad experiences, but specifically, uh, I had a project about 4 months ago where we spent about $5,000 and we only made back about 2,000 of it. Uh, so yeah, it was a pretty bad campaign. The fact that we even got money back was kind of shocking, um, because we started running the campaign. The opt-ins were flying in. I'm like, yeah, this is great. I'm getting like $1 an opt-in. This is phenomenal. But no one was converting on the back end. It doesn't matter if your list is coming in and you're getting thousands and thousands of people subscribing if no one's going to buy anything. Now you're just a hoarder of emails. Whoop-de-doo. So, we got all these opt-ins, spent $5,000. He basically had 5,000 new people, and not one person was buying his book. They weren't buying his coaching. Nothing. Those $2,000 we actually generated was all book sales. They wouldn't buy any of the stuff that would lead to bigger profits. We had this whole funnel mapped out where you could literally make about $5,000 per person if they bought everything in the sequence, and we couldn't even break even. It wasn't even on the ad side. So even though paid traffic was the generator of getting the business to come in, what actually caused the whole thing to go corrupt was the client did not want to make changes to a funnel that we built. He just wanted it set up, forget it, run as much traffic as possible, and hope for the best. And that's not how paid traffic works. You got to make changes as you go. You can't just hope that things work out. You have to look at the data and change as such. And the opt-in was working, but he didn't want to make changes to the sales page, which is where the money's to be made. So yeah, he was frustrated. And I've had similar projects in the exact same fashion, where it's literally spent 5,000, made 1,000 back, or spent 5,000 and made 500 back. And it's just people get lazy and they don't want to make changes. They just think you're going to send them this golden funnel and it's going to pour money in their lap and they're going to be laughing to the bank, and it doesn't work that way.
So what would you recommend to others maybe who might find themselves in a similar situation? What would you recommend?
Start slow. Start slow. When I first ran an ad on Facebook, was my first ad platform, but besides AdWords, I'm talking legitimate spend every single day for more than 30 days. With AdWords, when I first started in the mid 2000s, I'd spend $300 and then I'd never spend money again. It was like, oh, didn't make anything, oh well. But for some reason with Facebook, it was like, all right, I'm gonna spend $10 a day for like 3 months and just hope for the best. And the funny thing would be, I'd do that and actually make money with it, compared to AdWords where I'd do that and it's like, what the hell am I doing? So, with Facebook, or any traffic platform, to be honest, you should start small, $5, $10 a day. Get some data. You're going to need anything from the age range of people you're targeting to how many people are you going to target, where are they located. Things of that nature you need to understand before you start blowing $50, $100, $300 a day. Because until you have that concise audience that's going to buy, you're just blindly shooting money out into the open, hoping for the best. So start small, and then once you find that winner, which you'll know it's a winner because it'll start producing a bunch of money, that's when you ramp it up. And you do that slowly too. You don't just go from 100 to 1,000. You go from 100 to 200 to 300 until it just starts raking in the cash. So start small and
Very
slow.
good point. No, I like what you say there, because I from what I've seen, the intimidation factor of paid traffic, I think, comes in because there's this general assumption of, okay, paid traffic, they attach it to the Madison Avenue guys, where you're spending at minimum just to get your foot in the door $10,000, and you're not even talking about like the creation of the content itself. I mean, lots and lots of money that goes into it, because there was a point in time where TV was the alpha and omega. It was the one place that you could go and you could dump tens, even hundreds, even millions of dollars into it, and it did its job. Now everything on the internet is kind of atomized, and it just like it's still there. It's just been spread out so thin across the whole internet that you need to start small, and you need to get data, like you're saying, and figure out what that data means to you and your funnel. And with that, that's when you can actually start tweaking and ramping up. One thing I did want to chime in on it is that if you have a client who just refuses to change anything and not be fluid with you, then you just got to straight up fire their ass. Like, there's no reason for you to be wasting your time with any client who expects, like David's saying, like this golden funnel to just dump money into their lap and say, oh, okay, thanks, because that's not how it works. So let me reiterate, fire their ass. All right.
They gone.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I've had a couple of those.
Yeah? Well, why don't you share one of them?
The fire ones?
Yeah.
Oh, man. We talked about this on Cup of Joe with Stacy Copus. And, you know, like, there's really, at the beginning, whenever you're getting clients, you just get clients because you're like, whatever, I'll just take whatever client. And then you slowly learn that that's not what you want to do. You want to find a client that actually identifies with your goals, you know, and if you can't find a client that identifies with your goals, then you don't have them as a client. That's just like plain and simple. And, you know, I took on this client back at the beginning of the year, and I really probably shouldn't have, but I was so excited because it was the largest client I had ever taken on. And I started to quickly realize that even though it was the largest client I'd ever taken on, it wasn't exactly the easiest, and not everything's going to be easy, okay? But it wasn't the best either. It was probably the most frustration, and what I thought originally was going to take me, 50 hours to complete ended up taking almost 300 hours to complete the project. So,
wow.
Thank goodness for VAs to do the majority of the work and stuff. But still, I put in probably almost 140 just by myself, which was that's a lot for me, a lot. So
that's a really good point, because I mean I've been there too. In fact, I thought I had a client that was more. You make as the relationship progresses, you make judgments about how things are going to work out, and I was just convinced that this guy was super cool and things were going to run super smooth, and I had dumped all this time making sure, because it was paid traffic, and it was one of those we've got the funnel, we like how this goes, but for some reason the ad's just not getting any traffic. So tweaked and played with it and figured out. Come to find out, he had already run into problems with AdWords, and once the ad actually worked, AdWords was like, whoa, hey, this account actually has some issues. So until you fix those, then we can move on. And so I call him up and say, okay, here's what needs to be done. He's like, nope, not interested. In fact, I want a refund. And I was like, wait, what? Like, didn't even give me the information I needed of like, oh yeah, by the way, there might be some issues with this kind of thing. And then on top of it, to add insult to injury, he's just like, nope, give me my money back, as if like that was an option, which it wasn't. And so fired, like, you're done. That was it. So, Lem, you got any horror stories with clients or paid traffic?
Thank God, no. But I know with paid traffic, when I first started out, I lost like $500. Zip! Just like that. Because, number one, I knew nothing about analytics. Number two, I just heard paid traffic is so great to do. You just need to do it. And so I started targeting everything in the world. I mean, if you go on like YouTube now and you see like a video about my humps, my baby humps, and then there's like some kind of grandma needing some like adult diapers advertisement in front of that. You're going, really? What does that got to do with my humps? I mean, that was the type of stuff I was sending, And I just want to keep it real. But I get on now sometime on YouTube and I see these pre-rolls and they have nothing to do with what I've been searching for. I'm going, these guys are losing money. They're just shooting money out there. You know what I mean? That was me. That was with everything before video ads. But with all the click certain paid ad and all that stuff, it was stupid. So yeah, that's how you lose fast money, just like that, not knowing your analytics, not paying attention to what the heck you are doing.
Super fun, right? Yeah. Looks like we have a question from Lynn Jordan here on the event page for David. She's asking, what distribution platform did you use for your client's book?
Oh, so we used Facebook ads first. Okay, so we were testing direct to opt-in for a free chapter, and then if they liked the chapter, they were then upsold into the book. So we used Facebook because that's where the majority of his audience was located. Then we did a book trailer, and at first, this was when I didn't understand YouTube pre-roll ads and things of that nature, so I was just getting started, and I was starting slow, so I didn't really spend a lot of money on the book trailer and things of that nature. So we only spent like $200 or $300 there. That didn't do anything. I just didn't have that dialed in correctly. And then we did some Twitter ads where we were promoting some content that was relevant to the book. It was sort of like touching on the subjects that were in each chapter of the book, turning it into this really long post, and then promoting it through Twitter. And it did really well in terms of being shared, but it didn't generate any results in terms of sales. Facebook was the one that really generated the majority of the interest, and it generated the most opt-ins and things of that nature, but we just didn't have the sales page dialed in to get any sales. So we used 3 different verticals, but Facebook was like 95% of it.
Okay. Yeah, good question, Lynn. Lynn is actually an author herself. She's a very, very sharp cat. So if you have any other questions, Lynn, of course, let us know. And for any of you who are watching live, just showing up, I saw a spike in viewers jump in. We're talking about paid ads. We've talked about some experiences that we've had, both good and bad. So feel free to chime in. But also, if you're watching on YouTube, click the link below. Subscribe to the channel. If you think other people can benefit from this type of discussion, share on social media with your family and friends, because this is what we're going to be talking about. We've seen a lot of demand and interest for more education about paid traffic, which is exactly why this show exists. So upward and onward, we've got finally Justin. Do you have any nightmare stories with either paid traffic or clients, or even both?
No, I've never failed.
That's what I'm talking about.
No, definitely. I don't know. For example, I tried selling T-shirts on Facebook, or Teespring thing. I've probably tried 15, 20 of those, lost hundreds of dollars, and I can't do it. I don't know why. And I actually have a nightmare story with a client and paid traffic. So I had a client. We were running Facebook ads, trying to build up their Facebook fan page. This was a while back, back when you can actually reach people with your fan pages without promoting everything. But so we got a whole campaign set up. The likes were coming in. I was just a consultant, so I showed them, this is how it works. Don't forget, you got to, check up on it, see if it's still converting. You're going to want to change your ads up, this and that. And I guess they just forgot and left it on, and ended up with just a couple $1,000 bill, and then freaked out on me. They're like, "Oh man, this is your fault." I was like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa! I told you guys you got to keep an eye on this thing. I set it up for you and showed you how everything worked." And they weren't too stoked, and neither was Facebook. But yeah, so that was kind of a pain.
Wow.
Fun. So like, what did you end up doing? Like, were you just like, all right, that's it, I'm out of here, like pull the ripcord, or like what was the?
Yeah, well, I ended up, I don't know, it was one of those clients that just didn't really do much. After the consulting sessions, would be like, all right, here's the plan of action, go for it. If you want to pay me more, I'll gladly execute it for you. And they're like, no, we have the team in place, and they just wouldn't do anything. So yeah, I ended up letting them go because they, it wasn't a good fit for either of us. They were wasting their money on my services, and they weren't getting anything in return, and I was just frustrated. I'd go back the next time, and we're in the same spot. I was like, well, you're wasting my time. So, yeah.
Yeah. Now, such is life, and that there's that there comes that point, and I think it's all a decision, like internally, like like if it's just chewing at you, and it's really bugging you, then you need to sever your ties with that. There are so many opportunities out there, and so many better people to work with, that you shouldn't even waste your time. If there is an exorbitant amount of resistance in the relationship, you just need to cut it out, because there are other people who can benefit from your services better than the person you're currently working with. Very much, again, for those of you who are familiar with Pareto's law, right, the 80-20 principle, 20% of your income will come. Wait, no, I totally said that wrong. 80% of your income will come from 20% of your work, right? So.
I just want to jump in real quick.
Yeah.
Normally, we work with a lot of marketing campaign managers, and normally sometimes they don't get it. So what I do is normally ask for a lunch meeting with the actual owner, and kind of swooze my way into an idea and go over the head. But y'all might be going directly to the owner, I don't know, but I'm just saying that's what I would do. I'll go 1 strike, 2 strike. If that doesn't work, then I'm out. I'm done. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Yeah. Well said.
I want to jump in really quick to talk about what Lem just said. Lem and I have had discussions about this. I do it completely different. I go to the marketing manager or whomever's running their advertising and marketing, and I tell them, let me run this for you so you can do less. And that makes them feel so much better. First off, it makes them go into this lazy mode and trust mode at the same time. It's like, yes, I can collect my salary without doing anything. True. And at the same time, they go, but now if he does well, we're cool, and it makes me look like a star too. Essentially I'm just doing a part of their job. It makes them look great. I look awesome. They keep paying me, so on and so forth. So I basically approach them with, dude, relax. I got this. I take over the campaign. It makes money. Everyone's happy. Because that's the main thing. The owner or whomever is your main point of contact is just going to dump you off to whomever is doing their core marketing or advertising. If you're working with a decent-sized business. Otherwise, if you're working with like a 5 to 10 person operation, it's usually everyone is doing a little bit of everything, and you're basically communicating with the whole team, which that is a whole different story. But if you can just convey what you're going to do to whomever is running their marketing and get them to ease back and sort of back off of what you're doing, it makes your job that much easier, because now you don't have to worry about someone talking over you all the time thinking you're trying to steal their job or get them fired.
True. Because they have a barrier around them already, you know what I mean? You might come in with the latest idea that they should have known a long time ago what they were hired on for, and they suck, and then here you come, and David has a good approach to that, and I've learned that from him also, is to say, hey, I'm on your team. I want to make you look like a rock star. And it works.
It definitely does. And I've been in that situation as well. I didn't know at the time what the deal was, but later on I was told that, oh yeah, they're threatened. You're coming in and basically saying, oh yeah, you see all this stuff? I can replace all of it, and all the barriers were thrown up at that point. Had I gone at it a little bit of a different angle, I think they would have seen it my way. But my oldest brother calls it spilling all your candy in the lobby. Like, I get all excited. I'm like, this is so cool. You need to check it out. And I, just stumble into conversations that I probably shouldn't, too soon kind of stuff, right? So there's definitely a process that should be followed, that I'm even still working on, where you explain what you do in stages, especially to people who are very new to what you do. So I gotta say, everybody, for those of you who are watching live or even in the replay, this is exciting. More and more people are coming in, and even more and more people are asking questions. So this is excellent. Really appreciate it. Let's see, we've got one here. Julia asks if I can put the channel link to this event. So I went ahead and put it on the Google Plus page. Also dropped the link of the YouTube channel as well, if that's what you were looking for. Another question from Lynn back to David. All right, she's really interested about the book stuff. She asks, David, what distribution platform? Oh wait, no, it was got to go up a little bit higher. There we go. How did you track the results for each ad platform?
So some client, I'm going to be general here because each client has their own way of tracking things. You know, you have your client that uses analytics, Google Analytics. You know, they try to keep it simple. Then you have some clients who try to use the latest and greatest all-in-one platform like HubSpot or Infusionsoft or Ontraport. And then you'll have clients that have no tracking at all. So with the book client, with the Facebook ads, we were using Improvely. We were just using Improvely. We were gathering all their emails in Infusion. So we were just using Improvely to be like the front-end analytics, and then also looking into Infusion to make sure they were, you know, aligned and identical. And usually we would see maybe 1 or 2 numbers off by, like, you know, just a couple. Like one says 50 opt-ins, the other one says 51. It's no big deal. We know it up. So we were using Improvely and Infusionsoft. Now, most people don't have the money to run both platforms simultaneously because Infusionsoft is expensive and Improvely is not. So I suggest if you're looking for some form of tracking, if you want to be cheap, you could set up everything in Google Analytics. It's free. I actually suggest upgrading to their Pro platform or whatever the hell they call it. For some reason, they unlock more features and they give you more tracking data than if you just use the free platform. And I would also suggest looking into Improvely, which I forgot how much it is. I think it's like $50 a month or something. Actually, it might be cheaper. But that one is you could track each page in the funnel and see where, you know, people are dropping off, where people are buying, and it's very technical. But this is the sort of thing that you need if you want to know the different pinpoints that are generating you money versus the ones that are not.
Oh. Yeah, there I go. Not muting myself. So you said that's Improvely, is that right?
Yes.
Okay, let's. I'm gonna do something real quick.
Improvely.com.
Is this it on my screen here?
Yes, it is.
Alrighty. So for those of you who are watching, it's Improvely.com. This is what it looks like. So we'll also add the link on the event page as well as the YouTube watch page. So thanks for that. And if there's any other suggestions, you know, of course, let me know. Lynn also says that she really likes David's approach of the do more or less. Do whatever you said. What did she write? So you can do less approach. There we go. Right. I'm getting all tongue-tied already. First episode. So excellent point on that part. So then. Oh, okay. More questions coming in, but they're still thinking about it. So, with that said, we've gone through like the good and the bad. Let's talk about some things that are exciting to us, and maybe some future prospects. I think this will be really great for Bill and Lem to chime in on because they're in kind of the newbie space, right? They haven't had any experience. So, I'd like to know from both of your points of view, what you see as exciting from a new person's point of view, and I'm going to mute myself and go grab some more coffee. So,
I think, you know, it's such a huge opportunity. I mean, we've talked about this a lot lately. Not even just in the local arena, but if you find a business that has products, like physical products that they're trying to sell, or a service, or, you know, a coaching online. Something that's really video oriented, like YouTube ads the long term, it's there. It really is. I mean, what do you think, Lem?
Yeah, it is long term, and it's nice that it's just not even, I don't like using the word saturated, but it's like so new that in the next, I mean, we've started now, and for like 6 years later, there are people still going to be starting, but it's just so much opportunity out there right now. And I was really blown away, like at that event we went to, because I didn't realize how huge an opportunity we have. I mean, like Zane was saying, they won't admit it, but if you start, you know, putting your ads towards certain videos, they're going to rank faster. And I remember seeing a video of some guy with the Google network saying that, nah, that's not true, it's impossible. which is fine, you know. I'm totally grateful for him saying that, you know, and I'm grateful for him coming on each day and showing us and telling us things. But video ads geez, it is hot right now. It's like the beginning of, like, you know, like Zane was saying, Google Plus. People still haven't picked up on that yet. It's like the beginning of Facebook paid ads. It's better than that, believe it or not. So that's my point of view on that.
Yeah.
Very cool.
I think there's just such an opportunity. Like, I have 2 new clients we're going to start developing video stuff for, and it's in industries that are national, which I think that's even a better opportunity because they have a physical product, that's perfect because you can run ads over top of all these other clients, and I think that's one of the other coolest things. If your client's competitor has their monetization on their ads, you can actually create a better ad and literally steal traffic from your competitors. So
Yeah, that's one of the things that I really enjoyed about video ads is when I first explained this to somebody, and I think that's what really made it concrete for me when I explained it, was I was saying, well, you can put an ad on your competitor's video, and the guy goes, wait, what? Hold on, say that again. I said, well, you can put your ad on other people's video as long as it displays ads, and so they said, so let me get this straight. Frank Kern's YouTube channel. He's monetized it, right? Now I don't know if he still has. I mean, this was a couple of years ago. He's like, I've seen ads on Frank Kern's channel, like the regular YouTube ads. I could put my ad on Frank Kern's video. Am I understanding that right? I'm like, as long as it's monetized, then absolutely. He's like, I gotta go. Like, I didn't hear from him after that, but I mean, he was really excited, and that's one of the greatest things that I think is about it, is you can target entire channels, specific videos, whatever you want. You can pinpoint it to however you want to do it. So really cool. Now Justin bounced out, but now he's back. Any exciting things that you see on the horizon, Justin? Okay, we'll come back to that in a second. David, any exciting things as far as paid traffic in general? Like any exciting things on the horizon that you see?
Yeah, I was actually looking into a variety of different sources this morning, and just to put this in perspective, everyone's talking about Facebook ads and AdWords and YouTube ads now. That's coming to fruition. And quite a few people that I know in my circle talk about Twitter ads. But a lot of people forget that there are hundreds, if not thousands, of other platforms out there that you can run traffic for. For example, I found a platform this morning where it will run a video ad for you, and the only way that you get charged for the view of that ad is if the mouse is hovered over that ad and it lets the audio play. It's in-content video advertising. So the video could be playing, but because you haven't hovered your mouse over it, it doesn't activate the audio, and you're not charged.
Wow.
They have to watch the ad all the way through. It blew my mind. I was like, I am calling these people. I don't care how much I have to spend. I am testing that. Because basically I'm thinking of it from a branding standpoint.
Oh, yeah.
What if I put something in my ad that just grabs their attention? Even if they don't watch it, what if I could just put text over it with no audio, and they could read it without hovering over it?
Do not click on this ad.
Yeah.
Don't do this. But if you click on this ad, you suck, and that'll be it. You know what I mean?
That's funny.
But I saw that network this morning, and I got way too excited about a platform I've never used before. But that's the kind of thing that I live for with paid ads, because that's the type of thing where when Facebook, first started and people were running ads, you're getting 1 to 2 cent clicks, and you're making thousands of dollars. It's the same thing with video ads or any other new platform. I like to jump in things when they just start because it's so cheap to start and you're gathering all this crazy data before everyone else gets in.
Yep.
That's why I wish I started Facebook ads when they first started. At the time, I didn't have the budget. Now I do. So anytime I see something pop up, I give it a try.
Yeah. Well, and I didn't know that that's how that video platform on Facebook worked, but I can tell you as an end user, one thing that I'm always impressed with when it comes to advertising is targeting, right? Like I referenced before that television used to be the thing, and everybody watched the same show because there was only a handful of shows on when it was dirt cheap. And you just had to accept the commercials that you watched. Now we're in a time where we can, like with tracking and conversion statistics and all that stuff, I don't think the advertising world has quite caught on to that because there's still, as Lem pointed out earlier also, there's still a lot of very irrelevant ads. But in the not too distant future, again, in my opinion, it's going to change where you're going to see only the ads that you want to see, and then they don't feel like ads. There's things that you're like, oh yeah, I'm interested in that. I want to learn more about it. And suddenly these totally irrelevant ads, like for I don't know, feminine hygiene products, and you're a guy, you're like, this is never relevant to me at all. Why am I seeing this kind of stuff, right? So, but I saw an ad the same way that David's talking about on Facebook. I'm a huge nerd. I love video games. So as I was scrolling through my news feed, I see gameplay happening. I'm like, oh wait, what is that? And I look at it, and I don't know if this happens with other people, but I think that's kind of the process that they're thinking about with Facebook, and they're looking at it going, okay, this looks interesting, and once something catches their eye, which it did for me, that's when I moused over and clicked play, and then it starts the video over again. So I mean, it's placement, the proper placement for the right audience, and then on top of it, you don't even get charged until the audio starts playing, which means that somebody like me, like it was that video that made me go, okay, I'm going to go get that game, and I did, because it was so relevant to me, and it was in the perfect format that it was just like, this video is what got me to go buy the game, which is rare for advertising unless it is very targeted. So very exciting stuff, David.
That's cool.
For me, some new thing, a new thing that I'm waiting to get more data on is actually Google Plus post ads. And that's super new. It's still technically in beta, and I've just heard about it, but it's something that I'm excited about because there's not as much noise on Google Plus as Facebook. And by noise, I mean all of these ads everywhere and in the stream, and like everywhere you could possibly get an advertisement, Facebook has figured that out. Now, Google Plus, I mean, obviously, it was only a matter of time, in my opinion. So that's slowly starting to roll out. So in future episodes, I'll see if I can keep you updated on that. So with that said, we did want to keep this to an hour, so let's go ahead and wind down. We got about 6 minutes left in the hour. This is another great opportunity for all of you that are watching live to sneak in extra questions before we go, and also this is also your chance to click subscribe, share with your friends and family on the social media platforms, of course, if you think that they'll benefit from it. And so let's go ahead and do a wrap up, some final thoughts from everybody in the panel, and we'll snag a few questions before we go once we do. So I see David here on the far left, so let's start with David. Some final thoughts on this very first episode before we go.
I'm just going to make it simple. If you haven't run any sort of paid advertising before, all it takes is $5 to $10 a day. Just get started. Test it out. If you need somewhere to start, I honestly suggest getting started with Facebook, because I know that most people start on Facebook. Like, that's where they're spending 90% of their time when it comes to being online. It's either you're Google searching something or you're on Facebook. So if you want to start with cheap ads, I would go with running something for $5 or $10 a day on Facebook just to get your feet wet in the industry of paid advertising. You could go into doing pre-roll ads and everything with YouTube, but you need to create a video. At least with Facebook, you could just do it with links And so long as you meet the guidelines of Facebook, you could start running ads. So get started today, $5 or $10 a day, that's all it takes, and you'll be surprised as to what you can learn just from running some paid advertising.
Well said, David. All right, next up, Bill Walsh, Mr. Video Ninja. What final thoughts do you have for us?
You know, like David said, you just want to start out slow. I mean, when I first started doing paid traffic, like, I didn't listen to that, and I wasted a lot of money, like Justin did, trying to do T-shirts and everything else, and you can lose a lot of money very quickly with Facebook ads. Not only just Facebook ads, but any type of ads platform. And you just have to make sure that you pay attention to it and not just let it go.
Good points. Good points. All right, Lem, you're up next. Some final thoughts before we go.
Just going through the mind frame, you're going to lose some money regardless in the beginning because it's all about testing, and everyone wants that instant gratification. It's not going to happen with that. You might get lucky. Then again, you got to go back and look over all your data and see how that happened, because it can happen. But with that being said, yes, you're going to lose some money up front. So I would set some money on the side, not to scare anyone, like David said, $5 to $10 a day. You know, put like $200 or $300 on the side. Okay, I'm gonna test this. If something works, bingo, up it. You know what I mean? All right, that's it.
All right, cool. Justin, what do you got for final thoughts before we go?
All right. Hopefully my microphone works. My audio cut out halfway through there. Can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Good. Sweet. All right. Cool. Well, yeah, basically like David was saying, you know, you can get started with as little as, you know, $5 a day. I've even had ads running where I was spending $1 a day, which, you know, AdWords for video is dirt cheap right now. $1 a day, you can get, you know, you can get penny views on there. So you can play around, see kind of how it works, and learn the whole process. And in addition to that, you know, AdWords offers a free $75 ad credit when you spend $25. So if you want to learn something, go look for those coupons and you know, invest $25. You get to play around with $100, and that's more than enough to learn the whole platform. You know, at least figure out how things work and know a lot more than a lot of people. So you know, just get out there and try it, like David was saying. It's you know, definitely worth trying out.
Well said. Well said. All right, so some final thoughts from me, and then of course, for those of you who have any questions you want to sneak in, go ahead. I do see another question from Julia, so we'll answer that, and of course, you know, everybody else, throw in your questions if you got them. For me, I want to piggyback a little bit on what Justin said. Drop the $25 on any ad campaign, just so you can get that 75, because at that point you're playing Google's money, and you can use that to play with and test and tweak. And I would also follow it up with a call to Google, right? For years, Google didn't want to talk to anybody, and I'm sure with good reason, because they're Google and they're so huge that if they drop their 1-800 number without any monetization strategy prior, then they would just get inundated with phone calls about just the most random stuff. So you can't get Google's attention just to be like, hey, will you help me rank this stuff? It's when you call Google, you're calling AdWords, right? So what I would do is drop that $25 so you can get the $75 credit, then call Google and say, okay, this is what I've done so far. Help me spend your money more effectively. Maybe you don't want to use those exact words, but it's their job. It's their job to pick up the phone and help people with their campaigns. I've even done a couple campaigns where I didn't do anything. I just called them up and said, help me. I know nothing about this stuff. Will you figure out a campaign? And they'll do it for you for free. I mean, they won't, like, they'll walk you through it, and like they'll you know, share screen or whatever they do. So those are my final thoughts, and I'm going to go ahead and wrap up. So fire in your questions if you got them. And so thank you for watching the show. We're very grateful that you're here. There is more to come, and hopefully more polished than this. But it went well. It flowed well. I think everybody can agree. Getting lots of Thank you, Lynn. Kathy Pop, she shared and plussed on Google Plus, so thank you for that. So let's answer this last question that we have from Julia. And maybe this is something that everybody can chime in on. Julia's asking, are you folks using semantic search terms and ideas when you set up your creative for your campaigns? I'll go ahead and start. Anything that I can use to give me an edge, I will. So if there are extra terms, because semantic search does a really good job of pointing out like the longer tail keywords. So I will definitely do that. So any additional thoughts from anybody on the panel about semantic search when setting up creative for campaigns?
I'll jump in because it really just depends on the platform, right? So semantic search with Facebook per se, it's different than when you have it for Google, right? With Google, it's like the holy grail of keywords. You know, you could look at what's relevant, what's not, what's closest to something. With Facebook, it's like, hey, Robert Kiyosaki's an interest, and no one related to him is. It's just him. You know, so it's hard to find relevant terms when you're running paid traffic on a platform like Facebook. Even on Twitter, I could target hashtags, but if I tried going after a generic term, I could be going after anyone who just decides to hashtag that term. So, you know, the related terminology for that hashtag may be, you know, the part of the semantics you're talking about, but it really just depends on the paid traffic platform you're running. And, you know, the initial keyword research that I do for any platform starts with Google anyway. I always start with Google, even though I'm running traffic on a platform like Facebook or Twitter. I still try to see what people are searching for in Google, because if you're asking a question in Google, most likely, you know, you're going to be searching for it on other platforms too, such as YouTube. So, you know, it's a part of the initial research process, but it's different for every platform.
All right, well said. Any other thoughts on that question before we go from the rest of the panel? Nope. All right, so no other questions. Again, thank you very much for all of your questions and your input. My name is Zane Miller. We've also had David Schloss, Bill Walsh, Lem Moore, and Justin Sardi. So we're going to go ahead and say goodbye and end the broadcast. Bye.
You guys.
See you guys later. Thanks for watching.
Peace.